Hey everybody, here at Montana Casting Company, you've probably seen some videos that we've done where we're using fur from our beautiful golden retriever Lincoln. When you brush him out, you get some undercoat, and that brushed out fur makes a wonderful dubbing, especially when you mix it with some synthetic dubbings like ice dub, different colors of ice dub. It really makes it come alive, and the two blend together really, really well. So one of our friends had heard about this, and he sent us some fur from his big Newfie, jet black fur, and I got to thinking about it that I could mix that with some ice dub and tie maybe a great leech pattern or a balanced jig. It's that time of the year, late March, where those balanced jigs work fantastic on lakes and things like that. So I'm going to show you guys how to tie a balanced jig at a Newfie fur, and then we're going to go out and try and catch some fish with it. All right, hang on, I'll show you how to do that. Okay. First thing I start with is one of these Eric's size 14 jig hooks. I'll get that going in the vise here. There's some tricks to tying a balanced leech that I'll show you guys how to do. Some of you guys probably know how to do this, and some of you don't, but that's the idea of this, is to teach everybody things, and hopefully you learn something as we go here, right? So I like to get my thread on, and I'm using some Vivas thread, by the way. It's probably upside down, but you get the idea. Anyway, it's a heavy-duty thread because this is a heavy-duty fly. And then what I do is I take a nail, a finish nail, and I clip off the end of it so that it fits the hook, and then slide a bead on it. And that's what's going to be the balanced part of this jig. So extend that nail out like so, like you can see there, and then just start wrapping it on very tightly to make that stay there. And I put a lot of thread on that because you want to make this as rigid as possible, and I'm going to super glue it into place, so you want to give something for that super glue to stick to. So I get that in there, and then I'm going to take it here and whip finish it off before I super glue it. You want to keep this as tight as possible so that nail stays very snug on the back of that hook. I like to whip finish it twice, just to make it as strong as possible, like so. Clip that off, and you take your super glue. I've got some Gorilla Glue here, and you put it on both sides of the hook, and you don't want to put it on too thick, just enough to kind of soak into that thread. You don't want too much, like getting on the bead and things like that. Just like that, just a little bit. And then I've got some baking soda in an old pill bottle here, and I use that as an accelerant to dry the super glue really quickly. So I just drop it in there, give it a shake like so, and then I fish it out with my bodkin. Like so. And that super glue is already dry by putting it in the baking soda. You end up with something that looks like that. So then now you're ready to start tying your fly. So I go and get all my thread on over the nail as well, and over the whole body, because you want to give something for your material that you're tying on to grab onto, and it grabs onto that thread a little bit better. It gives it something to center onto. I bring my thread all the way back here to just about right over the top of where the barb is, and then I get myself some marabou here. I'm going to strip off some of this marabou for a tail. Typical leech pattern when you've got a marabou tail. Like so. I don't like to make them too thick and heavy. Get that tied into place, like so. And then up here where there's a joint right up here from where that nail is cut off, I like to fold the marabou back over and try to fill in that step where the nail has been tied in, to try to so that you don't end up with an awkward shaped body like so. Okay, and then I take some Flashabou, some real fine Flashabou, pearl Flashabou here, and take a strand of that, and I fold it over 4 times, or twice, excuse me. Fold it over twice, which will give you 4 strands of Flashabou in the tail. Like so. Fold that over twice, tie it in. It's a pretty fast fly to tie. Then you hold your 4 pieces of Flashabou, get it about the length of your marabou, and clip it off, and that way you got all 4 pieces the same length. Now we're going to put in a dubbing loop for our Newfie dubbing. You just go around a couple times, and you come around the back side of that dubbing loop to lock it into place, like so. And I run my thread all the way back up to the front of the hook. Put a little bit of dubbing wax on here to help hold the dubbing in place. And then we get some of our Newfie dubbing. So you can see that's Newfie fur mixed with this ice dub, which makes fantastic. The blend of that is really wonderful stuff. It really works really well. You'd be surprised at what a good dubbing material that makes. Stretch this out just a little bit here. Get that ready to go into my dubbing loop, like so. Get a little bit more of this good stuff here. Again, I like to stretch it out and don't want to make that too thick. I really stretch it out in that dubbing loop, because once you spin it, it tightens up. There's a lot more there than you think once you put your spins in your dubbing loop. So about like so. And give her a spin there. Get that all that dubbing locked into place. Then I like to take and brush that out just a little bit, not too much. You don't want to pull it out of there, but you want to get those fibers sticking out as much as you possibly can as you go here. And then you just start turning this in. And I do have a rotary vise, but I'm an old school guy that was used to doing this, going around and around one at a time. And so that's what I still do. However, it would probably be more efficient if I actually used the rotary portion of my vise. But anyway, so you put this in here like so. And I like to pull that material back as I go so that that material's leaning back like it should be, and lots of fuzzy, fibrous life to this fly. You get up to the head there. Then you tie off your dubbing loop, get it captured, clip off what's left of your dubbing loop, throw a few turns in here, and then we're going to whip finish it. And again, I like to whip finish it twice because I'm hard on flies, especially these big flies. I don't want it coming untied. Now I use this bright orange thread on here too, because honestly, when I brush this out, you're going to be able to see some of that orange thread underneath here. And I think that bright color underneath all of this dubbing, and it's UV as well, that thread. It's got UV color, so you can see that underneath all of this fuzz and this body, and it just gives it more life. Probably looks like a leech or something with UV inside of it. So it just makes it look super, super buggy having that. But anyway, you get done here, and you can see you have a really beautifully dubbed fly. That Newfie fur and the ice dub work shockingly well together, and it's really fantastic. I put a little bit of head cement on here, and like so. Very simple fly to tie, very effective, and that is ready to go catch fish with now. can see that. Look at all those long, beautiful fibers in there. It just makes that fly look alive. The fish can't leave it alone. It's a fantastic fly. Now we're going to go out and try to catch some fish with it.